Salut, je m'appelle Olivier, j'ai 17 ans et je viens de Baie-Comeau. Durant l'été 2024, j'ai eu la chance de partir dans le nord du Canada avec Students on Ice. Cette expérience liait Nîmes au Labrador jusqu'à Iqaluit au Nunavut, et ce sur un navire, le Polar Prince. Cette expérience de 12 jours fut formatrice et incroyable. Je vous présente donc les 3 raisons pour lesquelles une expérience Students on Ice vaut la peine d'être vécue. Premièrement, le côté scientifique de l'expédition est vraiment intéressant. Pour mieux vous expliquer ce que Students on Ice enseigne, j'ai interviewé le biologiste Paul Hamilton, un membre de l'expédition.
I'm Paul Hamilton. I work at the Canadian Museum of Nature in Ottawa. My official job is a curator of the phycology collection, which is a collection of algae from seaweeds all the way down to the microscopic organisms. My main interests are looking at water quality related to the diversity of organisms. I'm looking for new species. I'm looking for contaminants. So sometimes I'll be looking for things like arsenic or mercury. And then in another instance, I'll be using these microorganisms to look at climate change. So how does the number of microorganisms, the way they're changing through time, how do they tell us a story? And the story is about, is the climate changing? And if the climate is changing, how is it changing? Is it getting warmer, colder, more different events? So my job, to summarize, is quite varied from different angles, from environmental angles, from human angles, from biological angles. And that's why I really like my job.
Le lunatier à voûte et le Nunavut, c'est aussi l'endroit parfait pour voir des animaux en milieu naturel.
So the Labrador coast is for me interesting, especially the Torngat Mountains, because it's the mountain range that is parallel to the Rocky Mountains in the west. It's an old series of mountains. The oldest rocks can be up to 3 billion years old, and there's a great history. But from biology point of view, we have a mountain range on the east coast of Canada, and it creates a lot of habitats, microhabitats. So from a biological point of view, there's a really nice diversity that we can actually look at and to try and see how things change, especially from going from high altitude with glacial activity all the way down to the seacoast.
C'est aussi l'endroit idéal pour discuter d'un sujet qui nous touche tous, les changements climatiques.
The current challenges are trying to understand in the marine, we'll talk about marine first, in the marine system, we're trying to look at the diversity of life along the coastline and how that diversity of life is changing with climate change. One of the factors that we're thinking with climate change is that the ocean currents will change. And if the ocean currents change, then the question is, how will the species adapt or not to this change in the ocean current? Likewise, there's another thing that's going on, and the pH of the ocean is changing. And if the pH starts to change in the ocean, that will also impact on the organisms. And so the question there becomes, are we going to have a major switch from the current species, which are the small microbes all the way down to the fish, to maybe a dominance of jellyfish? And the jellyfish might then be controlling the actual system as compared to the larger fish. So we just don't know. So the uncertainty is the biggest thing with marine.
Paul, c'est aussi quelqu'un qui croit en la mission de Students on Ice, qui a foi en la jeunesse. Et il va vous laisser avec un petit mot.
So Students on Ice. Students on Ice is a really interesting and exceptional opportunity for communications from scientists to communicate with students, but also for students to really appreciate being what we call in situ, literally in the environment, seeing exactly what's happening. Instead of actually going to a museum, which is where I work, and seeing things, you're actually able to see the polar bears. You're actually able to see the microscopic organisms. You can see the jellyfish floating and swimming around and eating other organisms. So that this is an opportunity for the students on ice to take home that message and to try and pass it on. To encourage students to have the same experiences, but also at the same time to pass on the message about what the students here have learned. And that is to appreciate the environment, B is to try and clean it up as much as possible. And as you said before, C is the communications. It's really important to have great communications. And that's what the students can do.
Deuxièmement, Students Alliance est aussi très impliqué pour la cause autochtone. D'ailleurs, sur le navire, nous avions 2 aînés Inuits avec nous. Je vais les laisser se présenter.
Hi, my name is Maria 𝘗𝘗 I'm from Nain, but grew up north of Nain, out on the land with my family. And I'm a bear guard. I protect people at the base camp or a guest tourist, or I'm on student on ice trip, and when we go on the land, I protect the students from the bear, black bear and the polar bear.
I was born in northern Labrador at Saklikte, Rose Island, Salikurup in Inuktitut. The purpose of my travel is to educator for the young people, young women.
Leur connexion au territoire, c'est aussi quelque chose qu'on peut ressentir. Et je crois que comment qu'ils définissent le Nunatiavut, je crois que c'est la meilleure définition possible.
Nunatiavut means the beautiful land. So it's a place where it's so amazingly undescribable land. When you go out on the land up north, like Tongat Mountains, you are not able to describe it in a way that you would understand, because you have to be there. The feeling, the peaceness is just so amazingly beautiful. What people call majestic, and it's like, it's a place to heal. It's a place, it could be middle of nowhere, but yet when you go there, it seems like you're everywhere.
Maria et Sophie ont d'ailleurs vécu la vie nomade sur le territoire du Nunatiavut.
We didn't have anything like we have now. We traveled by that team, and we were living like a nomadic Inuit lifestyle at the time.
My childhood on the land is it was amazing. It's something that I will never ever forget. It was the best days of my life. It was like when we go out on the land, when we did, mom and dad and my siblings used to go out on the land all year round, but we used to go back to Nain, to the community during Easter.
Puisque Maria et Sophie sont très impliquées dans leur communauté, elles savent aussi leurs enjeux.
Right now, the challenges the Inuit are facing is high cost of living, high cost of buying groceries at the store, and high cost of housing and lacking houses.
Our children and grandchildren are into drugs and to alcohol, and maybe because they got no source of going out on the land. But Nunatiavut government has come up with the programs how to teach the youth and how to be out on the land, and stuff like that is starting to come out, which is really good.
Avec cette expédition, j'ai découvert un peuple très fort et très lié à la nature d'ailleurs. J'ai d'ailleurs pu apprendre quelques mots en Inuktitut et aussi faire mon premier pitique avec Mathieusi, un Inuk qui était avec nous sur le navire.
Le pitique, c'est la manière traditionnelle de préserver les poissons. Puisque le bois est une denrée rare dans le nord, les Inuits font donc sécher leurs filets pré-tranchés en lamelles. Ce genre d'expérience, ça fait partie même de l'ADN de Students Alliance.
Troisièmement, Students Alliance, c'est aussi une expérience très humaine. Pour mieux vous en parler, j'ai invité un de mes amis de l'expédition, Giuseppe.
Hi there, my name is Giuseppe Dimitric, and I was on the 2024 expedition with SOI to the Baffin Islands, starting in Labrador.
Vivre cette expérience-là aussi forte, ça tisse vraiment des liens très forts.
We all had that shared connection of beauty in the land and the environment around us. And I think that slowly brought us together as we were able to appreciate the same things.
C'est aussi 2 semaines pour perfectionner son anglais. Et pour 𝘗𝘰, c'est aussi l'occasion d'apprendre le français. Mais cet échange va au-delà de la langue. Mais c'est surtout des amitiés qu'on se fait.
It's something I learned and it's something I'm continuing. And that goes further than just the language, but the friendships I made with you guys.
Yeah.
You guys taught me French. We did lessons every day. Totally different culture, not what I expected.
Yeah.
And it's you sharing your culture with me. And in return, I get to appreciate it and share mine with you.
L'expédition donne aussi du temps pour soi-même, à l'abri des écrans, un moment pour se ressourcer et apprendre à se connaître. Bon, j'espère que cette vidéo vous a plu. Si vous avez des questions, mettez-les dans les commentaires, ça va me faire plaisir de vous y répondre.